First off, let me say like, comment, and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. Then the Wong story, the Marvel CB Cebulski Stan Lee thing. Okay, you've heard the story. I thought the story was over. Was the tweet fake? Was it real? At first glance, I looked at it and I thought, it's so over the top. It's probably fake, and it's not an archive version. It's just a screenshot version. All right, gotta. Everyone's entitled to due process. Got to give them the benefit of the doubt. If you can't prove that she really said that thing about Stan Lee, then you got to let it go. But what changes the story is that she deleted 45,000 of her old tweets, and she has a history of making outrageous tweets. And when you go through, and some people have archived some of her tweets, and you read the archive tweets, the things she said about Cebulski and other people, I start to think about it. I thought, you know what? She might have made that tweet. It is just weird. It's weird, and it's over the top, but it's within the realm of possibility. Anyway, I thought the story was over, but then Bleeding Cool writes this really weird article, and I wanted to make a video about it before they change it, because Bleeding Cool and other garbage tier websites have a history of they will change an article and they won't tell you they changed it. Anyway, this says, fake tweet used to try and discredit new Marvel writer Alyssa Wong, posted by your boy Rich Johnston, who was Anyway, 2 weeks ago, Greg Pak announced fantasy sci-fi comic writer Wong used to work with him on the current series. Okay, blah, blah, blah. You know the story, blah, blah, blah. I'm so excited now, so I'm co-writing this comic with Pak from Marvel. Okay, Filipino characters. Okay. 2 years ago, Wong was heavily critical of CB Cebulski. He confessed to Bleeding Cool that as an editor, he had concocted the fictitious Japanese identity, Akira Yoshida, which is like Johnny Cowboy, to get around Marvel Comics' practice of not paying to hire their own editors to write comic books. Not a big deal. He was writing for a Japanese market, I think. So that's not an issue. And when confronted about the allegations at the time, CB lied for several years. He was severely reprimanded within Marvel Comics after coming clean before taking the editor-in-chief position, moving back to New York from China. In tweets, Bleeding Cool has been able to confirm. Wong posted in 2017. Okay, you've read these tweets. The privileged tweets, the yellow face. Okay, blah blah. She goes on and on for. We've all seen this S before, the same BS, F you guys. That's not normal level of hatred. So I guess she's Chinese and she's talking about Japanese guy. You're all Asian, but it's a different country. She's swearing her head off. And then she says, I want to step away from social media. Yeah, because you're writing like like there's something wrong with you. You sound like you're mentally ill. And she goes on and on about CB Cebulski. I mean, she has more than a chip on her shoulder. She's got the whole log. Okay, but then Rich Johnston of Bleeding Cool shills for her so hard. I don't know why he's got knee pads on and he's going down on her. But these tweets were passed around to taint her new work at Marvel. But far harsher was this following tweet, supposedly posted by Wong after Stan Lee's passing, which has recently been shared very critically amongst the comics-gatey side of social media. Oh, Rich Johnston, you are such a bleeding pussy. F. Stan Lee. So what if he's dead? He's still a racist thief and an appropriator of culture, just like that jerk Cebulski. If I ever work at Marvel, I'll tear down as much of Stan Lee's so-called legacy as possible. 700 likes, 32 retweets. If it's not archived, then you don't know if it's true. You need someone to say it's true or false, or someone who screenshotted it. So if you can't prove it, you gotta, again, due process. But then Rich goes on. He didn't just let this story die. He says, it is, as the label we have pointed out, fake. Okay, I see you have a label on it, but you haven't proved it fake. I guess you're going to prove it fake in this following paragraph. We've been told by people who should know that it's fake. That's the whole sentence. We've been told by people who should know that it's fake. Period. We've been told by Marvel representatives that while here, earlier tweets did come up and were discussed, the Stan Lee fake tweet did not. Okay, that doesn't mean she didn't say it. And while extensive searching on our part brings up the now deleted tweets about Cebulski listed above, of the supposed more recent Stan Lee one, there is no sign. Yeah, she deleted 45,000 tweets. Obviously, she's hiding something, you idiot. You don't delete 45,000 tweets if you didn't make some outrageous statements. So they can't find the tweet, they can't find an archive of it. Okay, but again, it's impossible to prove a negative. Very, very difficult. You can do a search to see how many replies to any of the other tweets she got on that day, and they don't match. Nothing related at all, and no mention of Stan Lee or CB Cebulski by anyone. Okay, you're saying she's in the industry and she's never mentioned Stan Lee? No, she deleted any comments she might have had about Stan Lee. Obviously. She deleted 45,000 tweets. You can't find tweets critical of Stan Lee because she deleted them. And Wong told us directly, I've been seeing some tweets circulating that are falsely attributed to me. Those are not my words. I have enormous respect for Stan Lee and his legacy, and I wouldn't be working for Marvel if I didn't. Except CB Cebulski? Doesn't he work at Marvel also? I guess Cebulski must be a janitor or something, because you have a dozen tweets telling him to F himself and everyone at Marvel sucks and they're all horrible people. But you're working with the guy? I guess you guys are in different offices or something. I don't know how that works. Comicsgate Ethan Van Sciver has replied, citing another tweet from someone else replying to her asking what it was in reply to. Comicsgate, Ethan Van Sciver says, cool. Can you tell us what this vintage reply was responding to and why you've deleted it? Yeah, F. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby for creating the Black Panther, and they are white. Native American mutant X-Men. Yeah, obviously. Well, I don't know if they're white. They're both Jewish, so we're half Jewish. Hey, folks, I've been seeing some tweets circulating that are falsely attributed to me. Those are not my words. I have enormous respect for Stan Lee and his legacy. I wouldn't be working for Marvel if I didn't. Possibly implying that it was in reply to the fake tweet. Well, we can partly answer that as it was in reply to one of her tweets we quoted above, but had nothing to do with her, and may even have been used as an inspiration to whoever made the fake tweet. One may wonder as the motivations of those who concocted the fake tweet, if it was to sow discord and disharmony over the hiring of a new writer at Marvel. They seem to have succeeded. Except a couple of things you didn't mention. She has made some outrageous tweets that people have archived. She deleted 45,000 tweets. That's why you can't find a lot of those outrageous tweets. That part should be obvious. Let's look at the comments. 77 comments. Okay. Comicsgate crowd confuses the hell out of me, man. I see them taking all kinds of shots at Cebulski for the fake Asian thing, constantly calling him Akira. Actually, if you go to his social media posts, people are calling him Akira, but SGWs are doing it. Okay, Truth has a liberal bias. I don't know about that. Why would Ethan Van Sciver ever get involved? What difference does it make who is writing whatever book if he isn't likely to read it or is drawing it? Well, it's like when they hired that racist Asian girl for the New York Times. It tells you something about the company. It tells you the New York Times is accepting racism along is it's against the right people or against the wrong people. Okay, this guy comes in and says, what makes you think it's fake? Read the article. It details exactly how they verified the tweet was fake. Except they didn't. They didn't verify the tweet was fake. He says, let's say I don't trust an article whose only defense is people who would know. I read the article, and that's what he said. Rich Johnston said, by people who would know. I suspect he's probably going to change that. The article will probably be rewritten, and he probably won't say anything. I don't trust an article's only defense is people who would know said it was fake, and that I don't take her word for it because she has a history of making bad tweets and deleting them. True. So I decided to do some investigating myself. For the record, she has said and deleted many, many offensive tweets. That much is known, so really it's not outside the realm of believability that she'd post something like this. But for the sake of fairness, my investigation turned up nothing. So while I can say I could see her posting this sort of thing, I can't find a suitable argument. That said, I'd like to point out the flaw that the 2017 post didn't bring up Stan's death, so that it was dated 2017 doesn't prove it's false. It simply means if it is real, she was bad talking to him while he was alive. And then this guy says, because it's a generally awful attempt at Photoshop for one, but it's not. It's if it was a bad attempt at Photoshop, like something a forensic person could detect, then it would be in the news. And then this autistic Spurg says she really needs to sue EVS and whoever made that Photoshop. EVS didn't say anything. He was just asking about a response that she made. You didn't need to sue him for defamation until he makes defamatory statements. Wait, so she deleted her real tweets about Cebulski? Lol. Okay, we have been told by Marvel representatives that while her earlier tweets did come up and were discussed, the Stan Lee fake tweet did not. So Marvel is okay with the verified tweets where she calls their current editor-in-chief a racist. No apology. I don't understand this company anymore. And is this Rich Johnston, the Rich Johnston? He says she didn't call him a racist. Read them again. I think maybe she said the company was racist, but she did tell him to go F himself and all this kind of stuff. So then the SJWs go back and forth saying Cebulski is racist. I think you need to crack open a dictionary, and you need to learn some definitions, because bigotry, prejudice, and racism all have different definitions. You need to learn what they are, because you're using words I don't think you know what they mean. This guy says, well reasoned. I'm scrolling up this page and I see somebody who uses the term literary yellowface, calls Marvel's work fake Asian stories, and writes F you guy to a person who used a Japanese pseudonym. That's not normal. Yeah, using a pseudonym is perfectly normal and acceptable. And if he wants to sell in a Japanese market, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, now here's the thing. When you ask them what specifically he did was racist, please give me, give me your argument. Give me your rational argument. Build a foundation and reach a conclusion. And then the guys, this is what they do. I notice they do this on Twitter when you confront them about something and you say, hey, show me how it's racist. I'll say stuff like this. I'll say, either you don't know the extent of what Cebulski did, you don't understand why it was wrong in the first place, or you just don't give a damn. Isn't damn spelled D-A-M-M? So which is it? So that's the thing. That's the point, is they won't counter the argument. This is essentially an ad hominem, because or no true Scotsman or something. But you have this opportunity to explain specifically why it's racist, but you don't, because it's not. You can't say something's racist. It might be offensive. But even then, it's not offensive. If you ask most Japanese people, they wouldn't give a rat's ass about using a pseudonym. And then the thing is, the reverse is never true. If let me think, if it was an African American who used a pseudonym to sell in Japan, the article would never come up. Nobody would say a word, because it's for liberals. They treat African Americans and sometimes Latinos, if they're brown enough, as purse puppies, as like slightly retarded children. It's the soft bigotry of lowered expectations. The most racist people you'll come across will be far left people. It's I've seen them say things that are so degrading and so humiliating to people who don't have their skin color, because they don't expect them to be as intelligent as they are. It's the most sickening stuff. So this guy says because he was racist, there's nothing for her to apologize for. But again, this guy comes back and says, why was he racist? What specifically did he say? And then they come back with these, if you think him pretending to be an Asian man to write Asian-themed comics isn't racist, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, wait, I do know what to tell you. You're not very smart. But again, you never actually address his argument. These things aren't arguments. These are just ad hominems. If you think, or I guess that's no true Scotsman. Anyway, this is this bizarre shilling by Rich Johnston. It caught my attention because she did legitimately make a lot of weird attacks on Cebulski that they're not normal. There's something wrong with her. I mean, is this PMS? This is in one day, November 29th. So it could be PMS. Could be. It's very strange. And then deleting 45,000 tweets. That's not normal. You know something's going on. You know she said some wild things. That's why it's important to archive these people's tweets. Anyway, I thought this was funny. Like, comment, and subscribe.